Getting here takes dedication. It's a vow you make to yourself every day, through constant pain, uncertainty, and pressure. It isn't always glamorous, and your ability to make the dream last will be tested. Off the ice, there are different commitments, bonds that go beyond the team, to other people who share your goals and make the journey all the sweeter. Today we'll look at how the Ottawa Senators Foundation works with the players' wives and girlfriends, the programs they support, and the young women they inspire to be better leaders, students, and mothers. These are the game changers.
How we met, she might have a different story.
The old tale, guy meets a girl at a bar.
We met through a mutual friend here in town at a local restaurant downtown.
Met through CC, actually. It's his girlfriend's sister, so kind of set me up.
She actually didn't save my number, so she was like, well, who is this? And had to re-explain who I was.
I can't remember the exact time we met, but we've known each other since, we're probably 13 or 14.
At our wedding, is now the fiance of one of my good friends, my training partner in the summers. I remember sitting on his dock at his cottage, and he actually said, hey, I got a girl for you to meet, and sure enough, it worked out well.
Yeah, there's a few stereotypes, that's for sure.
Spoiled, ditzy, stuff like that, but it's just not true.
They like to shop. That's one that gets thrown around the locker room a lot as a joke.
I think people tend to think that they travel with us and that they're on the road in 5-star hotels and eating dinner with us, being whisked away on private jets.
Probably the biggest misconception is that they are at spas all day and they don't do anything and they have all this help.
They think that we're leading a much more lavish life than we are.
I can't vouch for other teams, but I think it's quite the opposite here. A lot of the girls get involved with giving back.
I understand there's always that misconception about wives and girlfriends of professional athletes, but they're good people. The group here is awesome. They're caring, they're in the community a lot, and they just like helping out.
One of her best qualities is she's got a big heart. She really cares about other people.
She's the most honest and down-to-earth person I think I've ever been around, and that keeps me in check as well.
I've had problems in the past with anxiety and stuff like that, and she's just always been a sounding board for me. She's been there for me through kind of some dark times, and if it wasn't for her, I'd probably still be battling with it.
I'm having a bad day or bad week, bad month, whatever, but she's always there to help.
She's very driven in her life. I think that whatever she does, she's very determined to doing a good job, and she's very dedicated.
We have always been friends. He asked me out in grade 10. I said no.
We met at actually a beach bar in Newport. Hockey is not big there, so I just thought he was a weird 21-year-old in a bar in a suit.
I think it all goes back actually to our first date. He is such a gentleman. The first guy to ever take me on a date, come to my door to pick me up, introduce himself to my parents, brought me back to my door at the end of the night. He cares about everyone around him. He cares about his family, his friends, his teammates. He's just the most honest and loyal person.
He's a great dad. It took him a while, but their bond is above anything else that I've seen, so it's nice to see him melt, I guess, with him just being kind of a tough guy. So that's kind of my favorite. Sorry, pregnant.
I think people think that us girls, like the hockey wives and girlfriends, have it easy, but it's actually the exact opposite of being easy. They have an extremely stressful job, and I don't think people realize it.
Their lives are completely run by the team.
They're gone a lot, so you could say we're kind of a single mom through the season, but we get them in the summers, which is awesome. But at the same time, they miss birthdays and holidays and, just those first steps kind of stuff. It's weird coming second to a sport, but at the same time, you're kind of in it with him.
Their career is all they've ever known. It's been number one in their lives from such a young age that we kind of have to be there to support that and to help them reach their goal in their career life.
Every season, the Ottawa Senators host their biggest fundraiser, the Senators' Soiree. It's the one opportunity when the entire team and their significant others get together to mingle with fans and give back to the community. The money raised helps support different initiatives by the Senators Foundation. Programs that go well beyond hockey and touch the lives of people who sometimes couldn't be farther from the game.
I was 14 and then I turned 15. I had a wild summer that summer and then I ended up pregnant. I kind of just blank. I didn't really know what to think. I was just, am I supposed to be happy or am I supposed to be sad? I mean, I was lucky enough that my parents were kind of letting me decide, but they obviously wanted me to choose like the abortion route, but I didn't really want to do that. And I said, honestly, like I feel that it would be better to keep the baby. My mom did research and we came across this school.
You see girls that are coming in, they're frightened because they're young moms, they're new moms, and many of them have said to me, having a child is what saved my life. If I didn't have the Uville Center or if I didn't have my child, I would most likely be dead now or incarcerated or in the hospital.
The Uville Center was founded in 1985 and able to help about a dozen teenage girls care for their children. Today, it provides innovative programs and services for up to 100 young mothers and their children each year.
Going to any clinic where they're not known, the first thing they have to deal with is judgment. And a lot of these girls have already been judged a lot. They're 17 years old and they're carrying a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old. The first thing that we all do is we judge a little bit. We think, like, what happened? Why did you do that? And we shouldn't. We should just see it as a mother who has questions about herself or about her child.
So in Ottawa, I think people don't realize what a great service this is because there's such a need. There's so many young parents and pregnant youth that if we didn't have this service, where would they go?
There are many choices in front of you, and we're aware of a lot of them. I wasn't aware that there was a place like Uville for those who choose to keep their babies. I live in this neighborhood, I work in this neighborhood, and we are so lucky to have Uville in this city and in this neighborhood.
A lot of individuals think all the foundation really does is social recreation and building the game of hockey and growing the game of hockey and teaching how to kids to skate. You know, of course, it's all very important. But, you know, right from the NHL down through local clubs, we get that there's a lot of other community issues, you know, that go on. And so certainly focusing with young moms who are having babies and making sure that they have a best chance at life through their education and through counseling services and drug and alcohol addiction programs is something maybe not as traditional, you know, as a lot of other clubs are doing, but it's something that we feel passionate about, and certainly our wives and girlfriends visit places like that and they feel passionate about that too.
As soon as you walk in that door, it's extremely welcoming. The staff there is amazing. When you walk in, the first floor is the daycare, so these girls can literally walk in, you know, drop their babies off, know that they're going to be taken care of for the entire day. And then you get to the middle floor where there's counseling for these girls, because lots of these girls come from non-supportive homes and they need help, you know, whether it be for themselves or for their babies. Top floor is the school where they can really focus on their schooling and focus on graduating high school.
They offer a full accredited school, so these, you know, adolescents can finish their diploma and get their Ontario Secondary School diploma, which is huge for anyone to get, but especially a young mom.
Their life doesn't stop. They can still go have a career and get their education to get that career.
It's like they come in a huge storm and they're angry and they're fighting back at things and they don't want to study and school is horrible and you know, nobody can help me. And Uville is a calm place. If you pass by the classrooms, everyone is quietly working. It's a place of support. And they learn to trust again.
We care so much, and we make treatment plans that focus on the girl's goals. So we don't have an agenda, it's what does the girl need, what do they identify, and then we work with that. So it's such rewarding work. Olivia came in 15 and pregnant, and she was feeling suicidal. So her mom came in and asked, is there somebody that could speak to her because she's been hospitalized before. She had an eating disorder, she had self-harmed, she had major anxiety and depression. And so I said, well, I will take Olivia on as a client if she'd like to see me.
I needed continuous counseling at the new school. I needed there to be something there for me to follow me through my pregnancy with my mental health. And then I started. There was a lot of drama about that, being the youngest here, because at that time I didn't really handle drama well. I kind of just would lash out after, and just like all hell would break loose.
It's scary to come here because it is a school of young moms, and unfortunately with the girls there is always drama, and it's normal, but we're trying to focus on trauma, not the drama. So trying to bring girls together so they're actually seeing each other as allies and support rather than tearing each other down.
I like flat out, I told them I'm suicidal. Like, I don't like anybody here. I'm not happy. Sorry, I didn't think it was gonna be this hard.
Someone misunderstood something, and I brought the girl in for mediation, and they realized, what, this is other girls trying to cause issues. We're actually, quite a bit alike, and they ended up being friends.
I think I was laughing when leaving that room that first day. And that's when I realized, like, this is the type of help I want. I want counseling. This is what I needed. I don't need someone to just sit there and talk to me about medication. I just need someone to talk to me and let me vent out my feelings. I decided I didn't want to keep going to the hospital anymore. I decided I want to get better. I have a son on the way, and I need to get better. And I can't just dwell on the things that didn't work out. I have to keep moving forward and creating a life and future for myself so that my son could have the best life that I can offer him.
Olivia and Danya, they both came in pregnant. Danya is the complete opposite. When she came in, she was like, I've been on the street, I've had Youth Service Bureau counselors, I've had addictions counselors, and I don't need another counselor, but I will do this meet and greet with you, and I'm good, I'm fine.
Some of the moms have been raised through CAS, they've been raised through multiple foster homes. Danya, who's just faced multiple obstacles in front of her, and just through sheer determination has managed to get past them and move on in her life.
From about 14 to 16. These homes don't have a lot of structure to them. When I moved in there, I was very quiet and reserved. I like to stay in, I like to study, I like to read. Then they started bringing parties into the house, and the house mom started bringing us all out to parties and buying us drinks even though we were all underage. And I never even thought that I had an addictive personality until I started using, and then from there it was just a very long downward spiral into addiction. I had a lot of relapses. I never was very good at quitting and staying sober. I ended up pregnant, and luckily for me, I ended up trying to quit a month before I conceived, and I was still clean at the point of conception, and finding out that I got pregnant stopped me from relapsing. I had a really rough pregnancy, but I decided that I was going to, and one of my probation counselors recommended the Youthville Center, and I'd never heard of it. And when I came here, I was wary of seeing Jenny. I went to her office, I was like, you know what, I've seen all the counselors, I've done it all, I don't need to talk to you.
And then it was like about a month later, she was having a crisis, and she came in and she cried so hard and said, I don't know why I feel so terrible. And I said, well, this is what counseling is for us to figure out why and to help try to give you skills to cope if this happens again. Because just because you have a child and you stop using drugs doesn't mean all of a sudden everything's better in your life. So she worked extremely hard, and she came back every week as well. And she's gone on to great success at Carleton University. She was very determined to graduate, and she wants to be a therapist herself.
My first month in university, not having Jenny was really hard. I remember going home and crying because all I wanted to do was go sit in her office after a long day. And you realize that you're really alone, and I had struggled a bit with struggling not to relapse again. And I've been clean next month for 3 years, and it's still a struggle for me. Just remembering everything that we went through together, all the times that I walked into her office bawling my eyes out, and all the help that she gave me, really, it helped me remind myself through university that I didn't need those things. I didn't need to fall back into it, that I made it here. I've already made it this far, so I can, obviously I'm worthy of being here and I can do it. And I'm trying not to cry. I don't know where I'd be without the Youth Center. I probably would have lost my son, and I would probably be back on the streets doing what I was doing before, hanging out with the same people. The Youth Center gave me a stable environment to come to every day, and that's what someone like me needs. I really need the stability and the support and the love that the Youth Center gives, and it's such a warm place.
She's a fighter, but Youthville's helped her, direct her in a way that would really just open up a world for her.
Just knowing that there's a center in our community that enables young women to come together, keep their babies, and just have a safe roof over their head, food on the table, and life skills and coaching and addiction services and continued education to ensure that these young moms will continue to have an opportunity to grow and foster their own children into productive young people is really encouraging.
If there are more places like Youville in the city and other cities as well, we would have fewer kids being abandoned to CAS, fewer kids in foster care, because they would have been raised by a parent who had finished high school, was able to go to college and get a good job. It's a cycle. Youville helps break those cycles. These girls are being shown another choice, and hopefully it'll keep working.
Those girls are very, very strong, and it was just a privilege meeting them and hearing their stories, and it definitely put things into perspective in my life.
Supporting young women today and building leaders for tomorrow has been a growing priority for the Senators Foundation. Working with the players' wives and girlfriends, the foundation has started holding networking events with inspiring guest speakers so female business leaders and influencers can engage and support each other.
But a lot of the things that we do through the foundation, a lot of our players and wives and girlfriends really get involved in that. But there was something missing. You know, we didn't really have an event that was for women, by women, really, that could focus on all of the great work that our players, wives and girlfriends were already doing in the community. So that's why the Hat Trick Speaker Series was really just really important for our foundation to roll out and get involved and really follow the leadership and the advice of the women.
There wasn't really anything that we created ourselves, like the Sens Wives and Girlfriends. So we went to them and asked if we could do like a speaker series where it focuses just on women issues and more specifically women issues in Ottawa.
We did it at 3 of the malls in Ottawa. So we had it at Bayshore, at St. Laurent Centre, and at Rideau Centre. And it was a luncheon made by women for women is kind of the idea, with different topics. So the first one was women in sport and how we can encourage more girls and young women to get involved in sport and just what that means for our community. I don't know that we feel responsibility from an external pressure or any obligation externally, but we definitely selfishly love giving back because it's something that we're able to do in this situation. The Ottawa Senators and Senators Foundation as a platform gives us, you know, as a family, as individuals, and as a group, a really great kind of takeoff point to be able to get in our community and help.
The wives in this team are very much the face of a lot of foundations. As much as the husbands are role models on the ice, I feel like the wives can be great role models off the ice in terms of running these foundations and being the face of them and being active. So I think it's a good 1-2 punch.
When they see either the wives or the girlfriends or the players being involved, they can identify us with being on TV, and it lifts their spirits, puts a smile on their face, and that makes you smile inside too.
And anything that we can do to help out other organizations that kind of provide positive role models for children, I think is really important.
I think it's great, you know, especially women being women and helping women. I think that, you know, like you, Will, I think that there's a lot of wives and girlfriends, you know, that can relate to the same things that these young women are going through, and that's why it's so much more powerful.
To be able to separate their personal lives from trying to graduate, from trying to move on to the next level in college, whatever it is, and then you're able to assist them in doing that, it's incredible.
I would like to say that they have a harder job than we do.